Realtree's Midwest Whitetail is brought to you by Cuddyback, Drake Non-Typical, Easton Arrows, Frigid Forage, Fuse, Grizzly Coolers, Hoyt, Nikon, Ozonics, Redneck Blinds, Wasp Archery, and Realtree.
What's up, guys? It is September 2nd, and I'm out here this morning with my buddy Matt on a new lease he just picked up this summer. We've been hunting together for the last few years, and we decided to go ahead and team up and start filming together, and hopefully we can bring you guys some good stuff this season. We're a little bit behind the 8 ball, like I said before, and we're just out here trying to get some things done. We both have young families, and we've just been crunched for time lately. So Matt's had some cameras out here for a few weeks. We're going to check those and see if he's got anything good showing up. If not, we have a spot we've seen some deer coming out, I don't know, a few weeks ago, and see how that looks. Maybe throw a camera up in the setup there, and just try to make a plan for Matt here on the farm. He's got a lot of beans here. Try to take advantage of that with the season starting this week while the beans are still green. So we're gonna head out here and see what we can find.
Checked 2 of the cameras that we had out for the past couple of weeks. A couple of good pictures on one. Decided to move one of the cameras down a few hundred yards to this creek ditch that divides the 2 bean fields. There's a lot of good intersecting trails running through here. Hopefully we can get some better pictures.
Alright, so we're pretty much wrapping up for today. We checked those first couple cameras and then jumped over to the other side of the field. Did some scouting and just inside the timber off one of the larger bean fields Matt has here. And lots of oak trees in there, and found some white oaks still holding acorns. So we went ahead and threw another camera up in there. Matt decided to hold off on putting another setup and until we try to figure out what the deer are doing here, and just try to stay mobile and get a pattern or an idea what the deer are doing. So we're excited to get the season kicked off here. Thanks for tuning in to Midwest Whitetail, and keep checking back.
Hey everybody, welcome to the 2019 edition to Midwest Whitetail. Hard to believe that it's here already. I'm sneaking out of the house to get a glimpse of a small bean field that I think some nice bucks are using. It's a great time of the year to look at some velvet bucks, and so I'm going to try and sneak to the edge of it here and not make too much of an issue, too much of a ruckus and spook deer away. But it feels great to get out. It was a cold front that came through here, knocked down the humidity, knocked down the temperatures, and deer really on their feet, I think anyway. So it's going to be hard to top last year, you know, Harvest and Star. It was a great buck, great story, great history with that deer. But there's a couple on the farm that I think are very worthy adversaries, worthy opponents to put a new story together. So I'm looking forward to that. Looking forward to showing you the story, showing you the journey, and but we'll see if we can't get an eye on some deer tonight. Guys, that's the buck that I call G3, and he's 6.5 years old this year. And he's actually the deer that I almost killed on opening day last year, but he got downwind of me. This is the same bean field that he was coming to early season last year, and there he is. So pretty cool to see him. I was hoping to see a couple of other of our shooters here tonight, but it's just like a bunch of other does and small bucks out there right now. But see that G3 buck. He's not more than a week or two away from shedding his velvet, and things will really start getting real. So I mentioned earlier how I was looking forward to seeing maybe two other of our shooters. We got a buck that is also 6.5 this year. His name's Curly, and nothing really special about him other than the fact that he's 6.5 years old. He's just a mainframe 8 with some taller brow tines, big body, so he'll be a fun buck to chase. And then the other one who I'm pretty excited about, kind of taking the place of Star on our farm as far as antler size goes. He's a 5-year-old this year, I think. My son nicknamed him Tower. We were hunting the redneck blind late last season, doe hunting, and we saw this buck as a 4-year-old underneath one of the electric towers on the farm, and he said, "Dad, let's call him Tower." So he's a dandy buck, really big mainframe 10. He's made a big jump every year, so he'll be a fun buck to chase as well. But anyway, it's gonna be a fun season. Looking forward to it, to the journey, and I hope you guys are too. So let's buckle up and let's get this 2019-2020 deer season rolling. As I was just getting ready to finish that interview, I did finish that interview. I looked down and walked right in front of the redneck, that tower buck that I was just telling you about. Real big mainframe 10. Hope you guys got a chance to see him. The footage was a little bit dark, but he's big. He's really big. He's the kind of deer that gets you really excited, and so is G3. So it's going to be fun to put a game plan together. I'm losing light. I need to get back and help my wife put the boys to bed. So I will see you guys hopefully soon, but that gets your blood pumping right there. Take care, guys. Have a good week.
Hi, I'm Jake Justice. Thanks for watching Midwest Whitetail. It's Labor Day weekend. We're out here at the farm in Ohio, and our main objective for the weekend is to get the rest of our cameras out. We've had about 5 cameras over mineral for about a month now, but now's the time when we go full force. We'll get all our cameras out and try and get at least half of them over mock scrapes. We every year get our best pictures off of mock scrapes, so that's our focus for this weekend. And then we're going to come back in a couple weeks and check them and start to formulate our hit list for this year. This looks like a great spot. They're already kind of pawing here. This is leaning right into my micro plot underneath the redneck. Make for an easy 20-yard shot. So we're going to clear the brush back and spray down some Roundup, and the deer will do the rest. Gonna take a minute to talk about this tree stand setup right here. We came back in the winter and put in a watering hole and a small micro plot right here, just 10 yards in from the bean field, and kind of a staging plot before they go out into the main food source. And with that watering hole, and now we just made this mock scrape here, tying this branch down. I really think this could be a hot spot for us this year. I really like this tree stand setup too. There's a lot of back cover, and with our real tree edge camouflage, we should just blend right in. So pretty excited to try this spot.
Okay, we're back here to my food plot. Actually, last year I hunted this a couple times. It was weeds about 4 or 5 feet tall, and the deer actually still came out to it and kind of used it as a staging area before they went to the hayfield behind the inn here. But I came in here, I brush hogged it early in the spring, and then I went ahead and I actually plowed it up with a single bottom plow, and then ran a hair through it and put the seed down. As you can see, it's going like crazy right now. But right behind me, there's a logging trail that had a big community scrape on last year, and just about every buck that I had on this property would hit that scrape at some point in time. And I actually tried to hunt a couple times straight across this food plot up in the tree, and it worked real well because the west wind comes from behind me, runs out to the hayfield. But after they get done in this little field, as they're heading out across the hayfield, they catch your wind. So this year I'm actually going to go to my right. There's a maple tree, ton of cover, and my plan is to try to kind of catch them on the off wind. As they come past me, they'd be going parallel to my wind as it's running down this tree line, and then hopefully they'll turn and go out to the better hayfields after they hit this food plot. hopefully that'll work. That way we can get deer through, mostly the doe that are going to come out early, get them through the plot and out to the destination fields, and then hopefully the bucks that are following aren't any wiser. Okay, like I said earlier, today is September 2nd, and I think our opener starts on October 5th, so we're a little over 30 days out from the PA opener. And we're actually standing at a mineral site I had. The last time I freshened it up was actually back in January. They still stop a little bit, but nothing severe. But what we have here is actually a hole, and you can see they kind of go at it a little bit. But as far as Pennsylvania law, you actually have to stop baiting within 30 days of the hunting season, anywhere where you're going to be hunting. And then also, if you have a bait site like this, rather than a trophy raw, you actually have to excavate the dirt out that would have any of the mineral in it. Then you have to replace it with some kind of virgin dirt brought in from elsewhere. That way there's no more trace minerals and anything like that. Okay, it's pretty quick and easy. It only took us 2 or 3 minutes to do it. Dug all the dirt out that had any kind of trace minerals or any kind of salt left in it. Put it in our buckets or take it home with us out of anywhere we're going to hunt. And then the dirt that I brought in, shoveled it all into the hole that it was there and tamped it in. So now we're 100% legal to hunt here in case we get a big buck on a camera right behind the end. Well, I just got done checking some cameras and had something happen to me I've never had happen before. We had a pretty big storm roll through a little less than a week ago, and I actually had a camera blown off the tree by lightning. The whole case was split open, all the internals were burnt on it, the SIM card was burnt like you hit it with a blowtorch. So definitely not using that the rest of the season. It was pretty wild to see that, but just hung another camera down in here along this corn, and I wanted to try to introduce the other buck that I'm going to be hunting this year. He's a carryover from last year. Last year he was a short tine 9-point, but this year he's put on a significant amount of inches. He's a typical 12, possibly like a little bit of a split brow tine on the one side. Real short tines, but good deer, and I've got a lot of pictures of him so far this season. And just knowing that he's the short tine 9 from last year, kind of know what he did last year and have pictures all through the fall of him. So hopefully we could try to get on to him. Between the short tine 12 and the big 10, they're living on 2 different farms, so it gives me different options of when to hunt them, and I can kind of spread out my pressure. So hopefully we can get into one of those bucks this year and just kind of follow along, keep up with the story, and make sure you tune in every week to the Northeast show and see how we're doing.